Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, my report is a happy one today in terms of the Jefferson segment of our little walk and talk. It's 64 degrees out. With this jacket on, I already have too much on. It's beautiful out. And you can hear the turkeys in the near distance. They're very excited as well. So that's the weather. The sun is out. There's no wind to speak of. And I don't know what the precipitation possibilities are, but I think they're low right now. So, who is tired of listening to Trump say his stuff unrestricted in every direction, in every place? Raise my hand. And what can we do about it? Well, generally, I don't know what we can do about it. But here, you want to see these guys? Look at these guys. They're pretty happy today. So it's a beautiful afternoon. The court in the New York case is considering a gag order to shut up Trump. Now, not for everything, and supposedly narrowly cast. And when you hear the categories, it probably makes a lot of sense. And it's not like we don't have data points for why we need to have a gag order against Trump, given how badly he's conducted himself like a 3-year-old. However, a 3-year-old can never precipitate the kind of danger that Trump can with his threats, implicit and express coercion, his downright slanders. These are just not acceptable. And so the DA says that next month's trial, which begins on March 25th, if nothing changes, they want to prevent Trump from talking about, the witnesses, jurors, prosecutor's family, and not brag himself, but they want to be careful that the case is as close to laboratory conditions as is possible in any republic, and our republic is under fire. In the category of not trusting defendants, another judge looking at the Smirnoff, who was released on bail, he's been taken back in, and the concern is that Smirnoff, who had the phony allegations against against Biden and Hunter Biden, is in custody now, and the judge decided not to release him. And the judge decided that because, among other things, he has $6 million in holdings. He has dual citizenship, of course, and he has contacts in other nation states. So he's a bad risk, and we'd like him to be around when the dust settles on this, particularly because we believe he has other information about other things. In the category of looking like yourself and not pretending you're not aging, Pamela Anderson has said that she's involved in an anti-aging campaign, in which she's not going to wear makeup and things like that, to suggest that there's a freedom in being who you are as you grow older. And given how, when she was active in the business, if you will, entertainment and so forth, that was a different story. We've had other actors and actresses say the same thing. So it's interesting. And I do think that statements like this are important, not so much because of what makeup or Botox or whatever people choose to do. It's a statement that whatever people choose to do in this direction, it shouldn't be necessary to do this to offset discrimination because someone's over 50, 60, 70, whatever the age is. And people should be appreciated for who they are, what they've done, what they can do presently. So that's a pretty interesting thing. Now, I also am interested in what people think of Haley after South Carolina. And based on hearing a non-scientific sample of various commentators, it appears that people look at this and they don't see Trump as the guy who is going to get even for others. They're seeing Haley as a person who is seeking redemption for the Republican Party, who is offering a path to go forward as a party that could be respected. Now, I don't agree with probably anything that Haley holds as a candidate. But what I do and am concerned about are those Republicans who, instead of deferring to Trump's backward policies and those that challenge our very democracy and that compromise the law and the Constitution and our history by all of his conduct. And I think that we have to have an agreed platform, and it can't be Trump's. I think I just cut myself on a branch. That's what happens when you walk into the sunlight. So I think that's an important element for us to be considering. I'm not sure how it's going to get picked up or not in the days ahead, but I think it's important. Now, Trump, as per usual, wants a stay of collection. That is, while he's appealing, he doesn't want to have to put up the $454 million and doesn't have to concern himself with the $112,000 a day interest that gets mounted on that. And I assume and hope the court's going to say pound sand, because the notion is we want the they have more turkeys out today than usual. They want to make sure that the funds are there to keep in touch with what he owes and that he can pay. And we know how far trust goes with Trump. Better that you try to heave a 500-pound lead ball than you rely on anything he ever says. So there's that. In the kind of fun category, the Odysseus, that's the name they gave to the lander that they put on the moon. And they have now pics from space. You know, how did you spend your weekend? And part of the interesting thing about this effort is that the manner of putting it upright didn't work at first, and they had to do, at least not with slide rules this time, 3-digit accuracy, but with some pretty complicated plans, they managed to have the landing occur in a new way that no one had seriously considered beforehand. So that's where we are. I think that we have to pay attention to the deficits and shout them out and correct them. I mean, ask yourself, is there something wrong with the fact that Santos is indicted for misusing campaign funds and nobody has found anything wrong with how Trump is conducting his campaign? Paying, I don't know, $50 million for lawyers? I mean, it's one thing if you file an FEC, Federal Election Commission filing, and you make a mistake, or you intentionally do something wrong. Okay, and then you defend it. And you defend it with campaign funds. Okay, that sounds right. But Trump is being indicted in various jurisdictions, criminal and civil, having nothing to do with with his office in the sense, in his campaign in the sense that he should be able to dip into that pool. And what are the people told when they contribute this money? It must really be something. And I suspect what it is a chunk of change that he needs, and he doesn't care where he gets it. And there is at least one investigation of fundraising by Trump. So that's an interesting thing. In the days ahead, there'll be more and more events that make it difficult for Trump to ignore where he stands and what's going on. And I think what we have is the 1,000 cuts that will bring him down. And I think that Haley's efforts to remain visible during this period is a calculated campaign so that she might be the heir apparent when Trump falters. And some people don't like to think that way, but that's the way it is. And then the question becomes, as I said yesterday, is she a more worthy and more dangerous opponent to Biden than Trump would be. So that's what I got for today. I'm out in the fields checking around. I went for a swim today, sort of to celebrate the fact that, for weeks since my shoulder had been hurt, I couldn't swim. And those of you who swim laps since you were a youngster and still enjoy it know that it sort of makes you over physically and psychologically if you do it, swimming. And walking or running has a different kind of meditation about it. So the truth is, any kind of exercise, if you plan it smartly, is good for you, because otherwise our sedentary lives will get in the way of what we want to be our good health. So I say goodbye until tomorrow. I say goodbye from this marvelous field and it's absent of animals. And I expect I'll talk to you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.